on top of our lungs, dancing by the lakeside, gonna do it while we're young. In a moment it will all be gone.
Welcome back to the channel. If you don't know who I am, my name's Christy and I talk about ways that I have saved over $5,000 a year on groceries and how I feed my family without the added chaos. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how I like to save a bit of space in my freezers. I do have a lot of freezers, probably more than most people I would say, but I still like to save space so I can add more stuff into it. So this is a really great way of doing that. I'm going to show you that today if you don't have a lot of freezers. If all you have is the top of this fridge here and you think that you can't stock up on meat when you think that you need to, or you're grabbing bargains and clearance items and things like that and you think you've got nowhere to put them, I'm going to show you a way that I do it, and hopefully it helps you guys to free up some more space so you can add things in where you need. All right, so here on the channel recently I've done another one of my big grocery hauls. I have shopped monthly, so once for the month, and then I have little top-up shops come up. But also on top of that, I did a little bit more of adding to my emergency pantry, emergency stockpiles area. So I did get a little bit of extra meat for that, of course, and I do absolutely have meat and veggies and stuff in my freezers already, but this is kind of the meat that I use more regularly, and I like to make I would say like other sort of bulk foods and stuff, like meals and stuff as well. And when you do that and you cook it down and things, that helps save space definitely. But until you get to that point, I always need somewhere to put it. So with the packaging that comes with supermarket meats especially, there's always like a little bit of air and stuff in them. That's space that you could be putting, say, 2 in an area rather than 1. So I'm just going to do that today and show you guys how I do it. All right, so let's go out into the garage and go into my back fridge because I have a fridge in the garage. All right, so this fridge here in the garage is mostly for when I do shopping or prep and stuff like that, and I don't have room in my everyday fridge in the kitchen. So obviously when I've done my shop, I've just put all the meats in here until I sort them out, because I do need to spend some time sorting out my freezers and stuff as well. Now some of this meat, I had extra mince and things I've actually already used and cooked. I had used some schnitzels already. I'm using more of that tonight. So those ones, obviously I'm not going to be prepping today, but otherwise I am going to be doing probably the bacon. I've got sausages here, lots of packets of sausages. I do have some chicken. I'm just going to think about this chicken and see what I'm doing, but otherwise the chicken generally I will keep it in this unless I really need to save some space. Then I'll pop it into bags like I'm going to do today. And schnitzels, I have lots of schnitzels. Now look how much air is in that, like space, I'll say, in that packaging. This just takes up so much space if you were just to throw that in the freezer. So take the extra time to do what I'm going to do today, and it will definitely help you have space. All right, so with mince, I've actually got 1 lot in the pot right now that I'm cooking for tonight's dinner, and I'll just quickly show you this. See this mix here? This is out of my freezer. This has zucchini, carrot, onion and capsicum. This is a vegetable mix that I use a lot in different recipes. So what I like to do is I like to buy bulk of like capsicum and carrot and things like that, especially if I get a good cheap deal or if it's from a marketplace or something like that. And then I cut it up, dice it up, grate it, whatever I need to do, and then put them in bags like this in the layers that I need it for, and then freeze them flat in these sandwich bags here like this. Freeze it flat in your freezer, and then it's so compact that you can store it in your freezer in a number of different ways. I have like drawers that I store this in, a bit like a filing cabinet, and that works really great for me. But it's just another way of buying this kind of stuff and having it ready to go. And especially if you get it on sale, you're going to save yourself a ton of money because you can prep it up like this, especially if it's, you know, a mix of veggies and things that you normally use. Maybe you don't use all of these. Maybe you only use like onion and carrot and you want to, you know, get a good deal on those and dice it up and save it. This is what I do. So I'm going to pop this in my pot right now so I can make up my spaghetti bolognese. But otherwise I have 2 lots of mince left here that I'm actually going to bag up. I am going to bag them up because I can flatten them down a bit more and take up less space in the freezer. So that's what I'm going to do. To do that, I actually use either like a sandwich bag, depending on what type of meat I'm doing, or you can buy larger bags like this. So this is really great if you've got I would say like steaks and things like that, you know, a big bag like this is actually often better. So it just depends what you're storing and how much of it that you're actually storing, obviously. I will just quickly show you this because I know someone's going to ask me about this. You can microwave this if you wanted to for a minute or so and just break it down that way. Honestly though, I just throw it in on top of my mince here. I'm going to pop a lid on top. I do have a little bit of water in here because I like to cook my meat in water. It's just healthier than me using oils and things, and it just makes the meat really tender. So there is no need to do that though. You can just throw it in on top of the meat like this. As long as you've got a bit of water in here and then you pop the lid on, it's going to steam through, and this will break up really quickly. Just a few tips on how to do this. Yes, I'm wearing gloves because I hate touching raw meat, guys. So I just have a big box of gloves that I actually get from the supermarket. But when it comes to these bags, have a bowl of some sort sitting here. Open up the Ziploc bags and then just flip over the edge like this. If you can see, I've just flipped it over, and then just sit it in here. So you can put, so when I'm doing my freezer, like my cook-ups and stuff, and if I'm making like spaghetti bolognese, for example, and then putting it into these bags, portioning it out, I will do this, and you can just scoop it straight in here without it touching this bit and making a real mess. It just helps with the tidy up, honestly, because once you're done, obviously you just flip it back up and then you seal up the bag. So it's easier to do it this way, and it's just a lot less messy. So just flip it up like this, push out as much air as possible. So you just want to push it into, mince is a bit easier to do, I'll be honest. Just pop it into the corners so you can get as much space taken up and as flat as possible. So I just like to do it up just a little bit until you've got a little bit of air left, even if you wanted to do it into the corner. Go, and then seal it up. And that's done. Look how much flatter that is compared to having this big old bulky thing. See that? So that's gonna save me a ton of space. And like I said, if you've got small freezers, this is the way to go. I don't have a white bit like this on this Ziploc bag, but I'll still grab a Sharpie and I'll still write what it is if I need to, and the date, obviously. This bag here doesn't have like a white section on it, but I can still use a Sharpie and write on it. What you want to write on here is obviously what type of meat it is, or if you're doing prep, obviously you're going to write that. And then the use by date on it. That's what I like to write. So if it's only got maybe 2 days left, I'll do, you know, +2 or something like that on there, so I know that if I pull it out, I've got to use it, you know, fairly quickly, especially if it's only got 1 day or something left on it. So that's all I do. I just write that on there so I know what it is and I know what kind of date range I've got left on it once I defrost it. Quick little check in on this. Just want to show you this just so you know how it works, guys, if you haven't seen me do this before. Look at that, all done. So I've just saved so much time in not having to prep all this and clean up all these veggies by doing this. If I was in a rush after, you know, school pickup, when I got sports and things like that, and I was having to make something from scratch, this is the way to go. I could get dinner on the table within 45 minutes easily without having to do all the cutting up and stuff. Really, the time that it's, you know, that's going to take up the most time is just it soaking in the sauce and stuff. That's the only thing, like the pasta sauce. So this is always a winner for me and something I always do. Okay, so schnitzels. I've bought these ones from Aldi. They're super cheap. I think they were like $7.99 for the 4 of them, which is a good price. We like these ones. They're good. We use them for so many different things. We might make parmas. We might just do chicken burgers with them. We might just do schnitzels on a plate with veg. You can cook them, cut them up, put them in wraps and things like that. There's so many things you can actually do with schnitzels. I do like to buy them like this, like the big ones like this. I used to buy the small packs from Coles, you know how you get like maybe 12 in a pack, but the taste of them, it was just like something's changed and I didn't like them. So I've gone back to buying these. So sometimes we'll use a full one, sometimes we might use half. For example, I know that sounds like not much, but say one schnitzel here, my husband, we might cook this, cut it in half, and he'll have 2 different burgers. So it stretches over 2 burgers, and that's heaps for him. Sometimes it's too much, but if I was to do 2 schnitzels, it would be way too much. So, you know, we can make it stretch further by doing that, which is really good. If you've got kids, maybe you'll just have one between 2 kids and cut it in half and do that as well. Even myself, I'll only have maybe half and share the other half with Isabella because she's not going to eat more than that with whatever we've got on the plate. So it just depends on your family size, of course. But when it comes to saving space, these, oh my gosh, look how much air and room there are in these. It's terrible. So I'm just going to cut these open. they just come out like this. Yes, I touch these because it doesn't feel like raw meat to me, so I don't wear gloves. But all I'm gonna do is I have one of my big bags here. I've written the use by date on here. I've said what it is. I'm going to stack them into this gigantic bag, and then I just freeze them all in this bag. It's a lot less space taken up than all these packets here. And when I want one out, I just break it off because they kind of stick together, but because it's crumb, it's not too bad, and you can just break it off and just get as many out as you need. So again, space saver, and a bit of a time saver as well in some cases for me. So it's good, you know, Joseph can just go to the freezer and get one out and use that for a lunch or something like that, so it's great. All right, so I usually stack them. I don't know if you can see that. See how they would be in here like this? It's just going to be able to fit them in a lot better if you sort of maneuver them around and they're fitting all as one, if that makes sense. So there's 3 packets in here. There's 3, 6, no, 12. There's 12. So I've stacked 3 on each section there. Just going to, again, push all the air out as much as possible. Fold it over this Ziploc bag up. I do like to push out as much air as possible. So if you find there's a little bit there and you seal it, just open it up just a little bit more. I wish I had one of those vacuum seal things. That would be amazing for me. I don't have one, so this is the best I can do. All right, that's pretty good. So you can see 3 packets in that one little section here. That's probably the height of one packet. Do you know what I mean? So this can be, like I said, just frozen flat like this, and you just break them off, pull them out. They're pretty easy. If you found it a bit difficult, you just get a butter knife and put it in between and they quickly break off. So very, very easy. I have another 2 packets here because I did have another 3, but we used some for dinner on one of the nights. So I'm going to do the next lot and I'll show you how many I get in the next packet. But what I want to say, which is important as well, if you want to keep on top of, you know, your emergency stockpile or just your groceries in general, and you want to know which ones to use or you want other people to know, I just put a number on this. So this is number 1. The next packet I'll do a number 1 as well because they have the same dates. Okay, it's just easier for everyone else in the house for them to look at this and go, okay, we'll use this one first. If the next lot I get, if I was to get more next week or something, I would write the number 2 on it. So we just know which one to use first. There's the second pack done. I've just done 2 on each layer, just so when it freezes flat. So it's just, again, gonna take up less space and being bulky. So I've got them all stacked here for the size of probably 2 of those packets instead of like 5 or 6 in what I actually had. All right, next on this is sausages. Now, these are beef sausages. I know you can buy a bigger pack of like probably, what is it, 24, I think. However, they're not just beef sausages. They're like beef with chicken and pork and all these other things in them, and it's very, I don't like the taste of them now. Like, I prefer the taste of a beef sausage, definitely. Since they've changed, I'm just not a fan of the big packets. And Isabella will actually eat this. If you know Isabella, she's 9. She's not a big meat eater at all, but she'll actually eat these. So it's great when we just have like a barbecue or a, you know, it could be a simple Saturdays. We quite often will have sausages and bread, like such an easy dinner. And these are perfect. They're a little bit smaller, but being that they're beef, the price of them, everything works out. Honestly, we don't need the extra little bit of sausage, it's fine. What we've got here is plenty for us, so that's really good. These are already pretty flat, so they're not too bad, honestly. But I am just going to show you, in case you did buy the other sausages, kind of what you could do. And for me, with these, generally if it was the big sausages, I would pack 8 in a pack at a time. With these, there's 10, I'll just pack the whole lot of 10. Price-wise for these are actually only $6.50 for a 10, okay? If you're sort of pricing out per person because you've got kids and you're having a barbecue and you think, okay, Joe's gonna eat 2 sausages, then you can calculate and figure it out. So that's really good. If you're doing like a casserole of some sort of something, maybe you might need to think about it differently. But for us, this is what works. But $6.50 for 10, that's great for an actual beef sausage, not one that's made up of lots of different things. Or you can get 2 packets, I think, for $12. So that brings it down to $6 a packet, which is great. The normal Ziploc bags are usually fine for me. I obviously don't have the white window on this one because I've got bulk lot of sandwich bags that I purchased. So again, I'm just gonna write sausage on there. The use by is the 3rd or the 4th, which is great. And sometimes, depending on if I was going to do extra, I would write like a 1 or something along there. But because it's usually me that's using these for cooking, I'm the person, I know to look at the date. It's just I put the number 1 and things on the schnitzels in case other people, like my kids, want to get one out to cook for lunch or something. So with this, I just go by the use by date. I'm just going to pop this in a bowl like this again. Sausages I'm not too bad with touching, depending on what I'm doing. Sometimes my friend Rhiannon will laugh at me because I will get tongs to get them out. But for today, I'll just show you this, and then just to get it done quickly. And then I'll wash my hands and it'll be fine. These are actually not too bad to touch for me, honestly. Actually, I probably don't need that one there today. With sausages, again, you want to try to do them as flat as possible. So lay down the bag, but I still fold this over. I tend to do that just because the yucky bits get on it otherwise. If you did need to portion out a smaller lot, obviously that's going to work really well with this packet as well, because it's 10, so you can portion out if you just want 6 or something for your family. You can definitely do that. And we're just going to stack these up. So even though these ones are stacked up for us, obviously lengthwise it's shorter, so it's going to take up a little bit less space. Down again, push the air out as much as possible, and we're done, which is good. So it's pretty compact, honestly. Like this, like I said, is compact. It really is compact. But if you've got a small freezer and you need to sort of stack them like this or sit them up or something like this, then the bags work better. Oh, also, I forgot to say, I actually write how many sausages I put in the bag as well, because once it's frozen, sometimes it's a little bit hard to see. All right, these are done. I am gonna say, you can see there how much space, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it has actually saved a lot of space by bagging these up like this, because when I was trying to hold these up before, there was a lot more, like it's a lot higher with the packaging. So even bagging up the sausages where I thought it was going to be really flat, a lot of the time I haven't, you know, bagged them up in these bags. I've just thought they'll be fine in those containers. I have actually saved more space. So from now on, even I will probably do them in the bags just to help save a bit more space. Chicken is next. Now, I bought 2 small lots because I do have chicken in the freezer, but I thought I'll just get a little bit to top up. This was 2 for $18, that's why I got 2. But look at how much space that takes up. I know when I put these into like the sandwich size Ziploc bags, it's gonna be half that, you know? So we'll bag these up and have a bit of a look. All right, got the gloves on again. Chicken again, fold the bag over like that, because this is really gross. So this is what I do. Put the bag in the bowl like this. It just keeps it sturdy. I know you can buy like when people do like meal prep and stuff, I know I've seen people with these, like, I don't know, it's like this stand that you clip on the bags and all that. You don't need that. Just get a bowl out of your cupboard and fold over the thing, and it's really usually will stay pretty sturdy, even if I'm putting stuff in it like a liquid bolognese. So that's probably the thickness of one of those packets. So that definitely saves a lot of space. I know someone's probably going to say to me, it would be cheaper, you would save more money if you buy chicken breasts and cut it up yourself. Yes, and I do have that in my freezer as well. But it's, for me, sometimes it's nice to have stuff that's already done to save myself like 20-30 minutes cutting up packets of chicken breast and having to clean up and all of that kind of stuff. So I like to have a little bit of a convenience as well as that, just to stop that chaos at dinner time. All right, the bacon's actually pretty compact. The reason I put these in the bags is so I can put it in the freezer, but it's in the freezer portioned out on how many slices we normally have. So, because most of the time Johnny and I will use this for breakfast more so than actual recipes. But if I need it for recipes, I know how many slices are actually in each bag. So it works out for both of us. So I'm just gonna open this up. Again, I just put it in these sandwich bags. I know that there's usually 6 to 8 slices in there, so you know I don't really need to write that on there, that's fine. But I will still write the use by date on there as well, which is like 2 months away pretty much, so that's not too much of a problem. But again, just for convenience, because if we buy it in bulk like this, obviously it's cheaper than buying the smaller packets, way cheaper, so I'm going to save money there. But if we buy it in this and we open up and just use a little bit each day or something, once it's open, yeah, it says consume within 4 days. We're not going to eat all this in 4 days, so I definitely want to put it in the freezer. All right, I just wanted to show you, I've just stacked everything back in the fridge so you can see how much space I've saved. It's pretty much half the amount, so that's amazing. The bacon is just in small packets of 6 slices. I've put a number 1 on them just so we know to eat these ones first, obviously, but this size is great because I can put these in any part of my freezer. You know, if I need to just put it in little pockets of space that I've got, then I can do that. Generally, I keep everything together, of course, but even in the side of the freezer door, that always works really well with this bacon as well for that reason. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that. So you can see how much space it's actually going to save me. I now need to move this into my freezer, so I'm going to do that, but this is the end result. Oh gosh, it's on the car. Oh my gosh, okay, I am going to go and pick up my kids from school now, so I just wanted to end the vlog here. But if you enjoyed this video and it's helped you in some way, please share it, please subscribe if you're new, and see what's coming up here on the channel. I'm going to do lots more videos like this for sure. So this was just something I always do, and I thought, you know what, I don't think I've really shared this ever on the channel, so I thought I'll share it with you today. Maybe it'll help you guys, especially if you're wanting to stockpile a few things extra at the moment, if you don't have a lot going on, or my hair's flying everywhere, if you don't not have a lot going on in your shops and stuff. I know my dad lives somewhere that's not near a city as such, and they are running short on stuff, so I thought maybe something like this might help some people just to get ahead a little bit if you need to, for sure. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up. Otherwise, I will see you guys probably tomorrow. Bye.